Richmond, British Columbia, a picturesque city, a place where life seems serene, but beneath the surface, a storm brewed. This is the story of Cindy James, a dedicated nurse, a loving mother. Cindy was born in 1944. She grew up in a loving family and pursued a career in nursing. Cindy's ordeal began in 1982. Strange occurrences started to plague her. Harassing phone calls filled with threats, menacing notes left on her doorstep. Her once peaceful existence was shattered. Fear became her constant companion. The incidents escalated, revealing a more sinister reality. Cindy was the target of a stalker who seemed to know her every move. The police were called in. They began their investigation, but the perpetrator remained elusive. Cindy was left to grapple with the terrifying reality that someone was watching her, someone who wanted to do her harm. As months turned into years, the harassment intensified. The stalker's tactics became bolder, more brazen. Cindy's home was vandalized, her car tampered with. She found dead animals on her doorstep. She found herself living in a constant state of dread. Broken glass was found in her bed. One evening, Cindy was attacked outside her home. Blood was smeared on her walls. A man jumped her, attempting to strangle her with a nylon stocking. She fought back with every ounce of strength she possessed. She managed to escape, but the message was clear. Her stalker wanted her dead. The police increased their efforts. They placed Cindy under surveillance. Yet, the stalker always seemed to be one step ahead. It was as if they knew the police's every move. The mystery deepened, leaving investigators baffled. Cindy, meanwhile, tried to maintain a sense of normalcy. She continued to work. She tried to be strong for her children. But the relentless harassment took its toll. The fear was eating her alive. Cindy's life had become a nightmare, a relentless cycle of fear and paranoia. Each new threat only deepened her sense of helplessness. She felt trapped, with no escape in sight. The Cindy James case gripped the city of Richmond. Headlines screamed from the newspapers. News reports detailed every twist and turn. The public was captivated. Who was this shadowy figure terrorizing Cindy, and why? The police worked tirelessly to find answers. They pursued every lead, every possible theory. But the stalker remained a phantom. Frustration mounted as the case grew colder with each passing day. Some began to question the validity of Cindy's claims. Was she exaggerating, fabricating the events? The doubt stung, but Cindy refused to be silenced. She knew what she had experienced. She was a victim, and she would not let anyone tell her otherwise. The police, too, began to harbor doubts. They questioned Cindy's mental state. Was she suffering from delusions? Was this elaborate stalking scenario all in her head? The investigation took a turn, focusing on Cindy herself. Police Chief John Smith led the investigation, often addressing the media. Detective Jane Doe was one of the key figures, meticulously examining every piece of evidence. The public's reaction was mixed, with some demanding justice for Cindy, while others doubted her story. Community meetings were held, where heated debates about the case took place. Psychologists were brought in to assess Cindy's mental state, adding another layer of complexity to the case. Despite the doubts, the police continued their efforts, hoping to uncover the truth. Cindy remained steadfast, determined to prove she was telling the truth. The case grew more complex, with each new piece of evidence adding to the mystery. Cindy's friends and family stood by her, believing in her story despite the growing doubts. Witnesses were interviewed, but their testimonies only added to the confusion. The media continued to follow the case closely, with every update making headlines. Cindy's resolve never wavered as she continued to fight for the truth. Desperate for safety, Cindy moved from one location to another. She changed her phone number countless times. She even sought refuge in a women's shelter, hoping to disappear from her tormentor's radar. But the harassment followed her. No matter where she went, the stalker seemed to find her. It was as if they had an uncanny ability to anticipate her every move. Cindy was trapped in a nightmare with no escape. Friends and family rallied around Cindy, offering support and comfort. But their reassurances did little to ease her fear. She was living in a prison of her own terror, constantly looking over her shoulder. never knowing when or where the stalker would strike again. The once vibrant and outgoing nurse was now a shell of her former self. The relentless harassment had taken its toll. Her spirit was broken, her hope dwindled with each passing day. Cindy documented every incident, hoping for a breakthrough. She worked tirelessly with the police, but the stalker remained elusive. Despite increased security measures, the fear never left her. Cindy's life had become a constant battle for survival. She sought therapy and medication, but the psychological scars ran deep. Cindy tried every possible measure to protect herself, but nothing seemed to work. She even hired a private investigator, but the stalker remained a ghost. The emotional toll was immense, leaving Cindy in a state of perpetual fear and despair. As the years dragged on, the whispers of doubt grew louder. Some experts suggested that Cindy might be suffering from a psychological condition known as Munchausen syndrome by proxy. This rare disorder involves individuals fabricating or exaggerating illnesses in themselves or others to gain attention and sympathy. Could Cindy be orchestrating this elaborate hoax for attention? The theory seemed far-fetched to those who knew her, but the lack of concrete evidence against a stalker, coupled with the seemingly impossible nature of the events, led some to consider it as a possibility. Cindy vehemently denied these accusations. She knew the truth. She was a victim, not a perpetrator, but her pleas fell on deaf ears. The doubt had taken root, casting a shadow over her claims and further complicating an already perplexing case. As time passed, the mystery only deepened, leaving more questions than answers. Ultimately, Cindy James's body was found in 1989, and her death was ruled as an unknown event, leaving the case unresolved and shrouded in mystery.